sjanse. Der går Torvald, så blir det åpent mål, og skåring! Og skåring! Akkurat det som ikke måtte skje. Og saken var grei. For åpent mål var det bare å trille ballen inn i det åpne norske buret. Fotballhistorie! Det er fotballhistorie! Det er aldeles utrolig!
Here we go then. This is probably a better position than I thought we'd be in going into this second leg. 2-0 up against AEK Athens. 2 away goals scored out in Greece. But we may well throw it all away today because it's not as if things have been going particularly well for us. We now find ourselves down in 10th place in the league. Don't think we've won a game in the last 5 attempts. We are struggling with 2 games a week. Sometimes we're playing Thursday, Saturday. We are finding that scheduling very, very difficult for our young squad. I mean, if we have a look at the ages of our squad, you'll see that we've got a few players that are in their early 20s. But lots of our players are only just out of their mid-teens, 16, 17, 18-year-olds. All through the squad, and they are finding it difficult to play the number of games that we've got scheduled at the moment. So it's not an easy time for us, I will be honest. Since the last episode, where we got that 1-0 victory out in Kazakhstan, well, things have been going okay, given the quality of opposition we've been playing. We drew 1-1 with Lillestrøm, and we're disappointed, to be honest, because they scored a late goal, but after flying back from Kazakhstan, we needed to make 10 substitutions in this game. We were only able to make 3. And Lillestrøm managed to score that late equaliser. We then had the game against the Kazakhstanis. We needed extra time to beat them. They scored a very early goal from a free kick. And then we had to get an equaliser on the night in extra time to send us through. And Hugo made it a little bit more comfortable going into the last 10 minutes or so of extra time. We then got a creditable 0-0 draw against Rosenborg before the game that was just superb. We went out there to Athens and we dominated. In fact, we probably should have won more than 2-0 if I'm honest, given the XG. We had great performances all over the pitch. You'll see we went out there with a slightly revised new European away formation because I was very, very concerned with the quality of player that the Greek outfit were able to offer. I mean, some of their players are worth the best part of £5 million. They've got some really good talent. So I was impressed with this performance. Unfortunately, just 3 days later, we played Sandefjord and we went down 4-1 in this game. Most of their goals coming from set plays, and we just looked tired and lethargic. And all the great performances we had out there in Athens, well, they were not carried over into this game. But you'll see, even though they scored 4 goals, and they didn't even muster an XG greater than 1, they were fortunate. But this is really the story of our season. We have not amassed anywhere near the points that we've deserved, and we are slipping our way towards the lower reaches of the table. I think a top 4 finish is looking pretty unlikely now. We're 9 points behind Rosenborg. I think just scrambling our way into a top 8 would be a good performance given where we are. And considering we might still make more progress in Europe, we're going to have to continue playing 2 games a week, which is tricky if we get through today's tie against AEK Athens. And I think we've got another qualifying round to play, where we've been drawn against either a team from Azerbaijan or from Finland. And then maybe if we win that, we might get into the group stages. Although I'll be honest, I'm still figuring out this competition as we go. So let's talk you through this new tactic that we're going to play. It works so well out in Greece. We'll see whether it works in the home leg as well. So the 3 number 10s wasn't long for this world. I'm afraid it didn't really create very many chances. I'm not sure we had enough players for it. Trying to shoehorn wingers to be shadow strikers, I don't think worked out too well. So Skogvang Pedersen's back on the left. But unfortunately, Skogdal has picked up quite a nasty injury. He's been out for a while already and he's still got a couple of months to go in his recovery. So he could well be done for the bulk of this season. So young Christian Tysparovic's been getting some more game time. He's been doing okay. He's certainly got some good attributes to be a winger, such as his dribbling, though he's not quite as quick as Skogvang Pedersen over on the other wing. But they're going to play out wide for us today. We've got this split midfield as well. One with the more defensive role, one with the more creative role, and then one with the more supporting role for the striker, who has been Emperor in a few of our games. But in order to inject a little bit of pace into our side, we've been playing Espen Larsen Pleam as well. And he's now got himself 3 goals in the Norwegian Premier Division, plus those 2 goals that he scored out in Athens. And he has looked okay. He's not got the best personality for youth development, but I think a mixture of our training facilities and the game time that he's getting means that he's starting to develop into a pretty useful prospect. The big trouble that we have, though, is that transfer windows are open domestically and across Europe, and we are getting no end of bids for our top players. And even though we're rejecting them because they're not high enough in terms of the offers that we're receiving, it's making some players very, very unhappy. Berntsen is not keen that we've crushed his dreams. Jawad is getting frustrated that we keep turning down bids for him. Napoli, the latest club that came in for him, but it was only 3 million, and we need far more than that. It's only going to be a matter of time before we start getting offers for Skogvang Pedersen. Tysparovic, I think, is still sulking from when we turned down a bid from AC Milan, but sooner or later, you know, we're going to have to accept another offer and try and make another £10 million transfer deal, because we started the season with 3 million in the bank. By the end of this month, we could be at 0. We're going to make a loss during this year, and I think we're going to have to sell another player before the board start accepting more bids on our behalf. But today, it's all about trying to make it to the next stage of Europe. Remember, if we could get through this round and the next one, we could qualify for that group stage. There could be a little bit of money in it for us, although not as much as you'd get in some of the other European competitions. But every little bit of income is going to be useful. So I guess we get out there, see if we can hold on to this lead against what is a very good Greek outfit. Okay, we are underway. You should be confident holding a 2-0 lead from the first leg, especially as those were 2 away goals. But we got such a going over in our last league game against Sandefjord, who are by no means one of the better teams in the division, that it does make you nervous for this game. However, we created plenty of chances against this team. They've got some very highly valued players, but their defence are old and they are slow, which is why we went with Pleam, with his greater pace and acceleration than Hugo can offer. So I'm hoping if they've got to come and attack us to try and score in this game, he might be able to get some one-on-one chances again. And he's got finishing of 14 or 15, I think, so he might be able to help us. We've got Tysparovic on the ball. We're looking to try and release Pleam, send him through against the keeper, and see if he can get a very important third goal for us. We're less than 3 minutes into this game, by the way, and we've had a good couple of highlights already. So we've been playing Pleam a little bit recently, and poor old Hugo, you know, he's done nothing wrong, but he's just been to see us in the last week to say, as he strikes the post, he doesn't think he's good enough to play first team football for us, or would like us to sell him. I try to reassure him. I mean, he's right, he's not going to be getting a lot of games, but I'd still like to keep him as an impact player at 6'7" and as a target man. And if we continue to perform badly, you never know, we could be playing a 4-4-2 again before long, and Hugo will be back in the team like he's never been away. So we're going to try and give him enough game time so that it just appeases his desire to leave. But Pleam is certainly looking like, as it looks like we might have struck a post again, Kleem is looking like a good option for the future. We have got no shortage of highlights in this game. We're not even at 10 minutes yet. And they are reigning in. This Ike team have got some pretty highly valued players. They've got some very creative midfielders as well. Our scouting reports say that they play a Catenaccio style, which I don't think will suit them. If they're 2-0 down from the first leg, they're going to have to open up a little bit. And I'm hoping that we can catch them on the break. We've got some good players in midfield that might be able to join these attacks. Players like Runnigan. Though Garcia has gone through and he has let us off the hook. Goodness me, we're on 12 minutes now. We're still drawing out more highlights. Disbelief, who's played all right the last few games, gets the ball over. We've got Skogvang Pedersen, and that should settle it. And was it Pleam with the header for the assist? Might have been. He's looking like a useful player. We've got to have a little think though, and this is where I am desperate for your opinions down in the comments. I think we're going to have to let a player go pretty soon. We need to try and raise another £10 million or so player sale just to keep us solvent. Maybe not even to improve the facilities further. It might be that we just need to sell a player for 10 million or so just to give us some kind of cash reserves that we can eat into over the next year or so. But who's going to be the player that we can do without? I mean, we could certainly get decent money for Grachev. Remember, PSG have been interested in him in the past. We could get decent money for Jawad, I think, if I negotiated a deal. We could probably get money for Berntsen, although I'm not sure we'd get 10 million. The Arctic Iniesta, I think, could raise money as well, although we've not had bids from big clubs for him yet. And then we talk about the Skogs as Larsen Pleam volleys home another. Do we think about letting one of the Skogs go? Last season, I'd have said no way to letting either of the Skogs go. They were the driving force behind our third place finish. But Skogvang Pedersen has been nowhere near as good this year as he was last. And Skogdal, well, he's injured at the moment. And when he was back in the team, he wasn't very effective. So, let us know down in the comments below, if we were to lose a player, which one would you be willing to part with? Whoever it is, there might be the potential to bring them back on loan. And we've got plenty of good youngsters coming through as players like Pleam are showing in this game. Let us know down in the comments, would you part with a player, and if so, which one? We're 4-0 up on aggregate now, and I am starting to feel like we might be progressing through to the next round. You never know. 4 away goals for Ike now. And we're heading out of European competition. But I think we've looked pretty menacing on the counter and scored some good goals. And here we go again. Disbelief. We're going to look for him to just slip Pleam in. He's greedy. He's gone alone. His shot's been charged down. And now we have got a corner. We've slung it in. Got it away. Berntsen. He's got the ball back. He's gone wide. Disbelief with a terrible first touch. And now Garcia's breaking. This is one of their danger men. He's pretty decent, Garcia. He's not got a lot of support though, has he? I mean, they are not making any great effort to get up and help him out. Disbelief ends up helping him out in the end by hauling him down. And now we're hurtling our way through to half-time. Ike have not turned up, have they really? 2 shots when they needed to try and score to get back into the tie. Sure, their fans will be pleased. Sturvold. Skogvang Peds. We've had it charged down. And that should be half-time. I'm going to say, compared to how we've been playing recently, that's a pretty decent first half. We're going to go and tell the boys we just want a bit more in the second half. Maybe we might even look at who we might be able to rest with some more crucial league games just around the corner. We'll see you for the second period. Okay, we are back underway. We are resting a player. We've gone with Grachev. He's been the player who has been struggling for fitness the most. Remember, he's already been out the European Championships this summer. He's arrived back. We've thrown him back into league action and European competition as well. So we're going to give him a rest. And on the hour mark, I think We're going to try and give one of our other tired players a rest. It's looking like Disbelief, I reckon. Don't have an ideal replacement. We're going to go with Hartfixen. By the way, Hartfixen is another one of our stalwarts, our old campaigners. But it's 3 seasons since we've seen anything from him. We've actually got him on the transfer list at the moment. Even though he is our captain, I think we've really given up in this second half, haven't we? There's not a lot coming forward for us. We're going to make another change. We don't really have the wide players we need. I think we're going to bring Hugo on. And we're going to ask Pleen to go out and play on the left wing. Not a position he's particularly familiar with, but he's quick. And I think the game is won. Ike have still only had 2 shots. We've had 18. And if this finishes as 2-0, I think it's going to be a job well done. The players have just shut up shop a little bit in the second half. On 88 minutes, we've got Pleen coming forward. Surely Athens must have just given up by now. There's no way they're coming back from this. Could we get one more goal? We've got the Arctic Iniesta. He's had a go. Charged down. That can't be the opportunity. The highlight continues. We've got it forward. Larson Pleen again. He's going forward from his left wing position. Jawad at left back now, and Runnigan strikes home a volley. Was it the Arctic Iniesta that just got a little flick on for him? 2 similar goals we've scored in this game. Little cushioned headers down. It is a little flick on. Good finish by Runnigan. Still got a role to play, I think, Runnigan. He's nowhere near as good for us on loan as he was when he was permanently signed. But he's still an £8 million player, and I think we're going to need him. And we've beaten Ike Athens 3-0. Restricted them to 2 shots. One of them that they had pretty early in the game. And we've made some good progress in Europe. I think that might be good for morale. I also think it will bring us just a little bit of revenue as well. And we might even get to find out who we're going to be playing in the next round. We've triumphed. We've won. We've got a little bit of money. Let's just go forward and find out who we've got in that next qualifying round. Okay, it's not the easiest to pronounce team in the world. We'll go with Rops, shall we? Rovaniemi, Polisura. Okay, they look like they could be decent opposition. Currently 3rd in the Finnish Premier Division. Have they won the title there recently? They have. You're going back 5 years, but this looks like a decent outfit. How expensive is their key player? £500,000, but players are pretty undervalued in Finland. He looks like he could be a dangerous striker. I'm not sure how long we've got before we're playing that game. Not an awful amount of time at all. We've got a very hectic calendar coming up. I think the game we could be coming back for could be this second leg against the Finns. We're going to be the home side. Fingers crossed after that first leg. We've left ourselves in with a chance of progressing further in Europe and becoming, potentially, Sub-Zero heroes.